jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. I'll come out and fire off the ball. We going on one.
Another Friday night Witherspoon Insurance pregame show here on KTC Broadcasting. Friday night, and you know what that means? Friday night football. Hunter Yancey, Terry Reinhardt, Shannon Allen supposed to be with us. I'm assuming he's on his way. On my way here, traffic I hit through 150 in Cherryville was ridiculous. It really was. I don't know why. I guess people were deciding to go home at 5 o'clock today.
Maybe
Imagine
they're
that.
all coming in to watch Thomas Jefferson against Cherryville tonight.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Is this a? I wonder. Is this homecoming for Cherryville?
Ooh, I do not know about that.
Because I saw across the street at the
fire
department, I saw a vehicle there with a big nice bow on it. It was
Could be.
I don't know. So I don't know. It might be. So don't take that with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, but you might be right. They might be coming in to see Thomas Jefferson play against Cherryville. But we will get to that game later. We've got a bunch of games around the area. We got some games that we'll be covering here on our local stations. Let me go ahead and just list off some of the games that we'll have on ours. 6:30, Crest Chargers at Forest View. It's going to be on WOHS 1390 AM, 101.5 FM, or if you want to watch it, you can go to the Crest YouTube channel. On WLON 1050 AM, 107.5 FM, or if you can't get it in your area through the airwaves, you can go to ktcbroadcasting.com, click Listen Live, and then click on the WLON tab. Will be North Lincoln traveling to West Lincoln, the Knights versus the Rebels. That's a little rivalry right there that you can say it just comes down to two opposite colors, red versus blue. That's
It does,
exactly what it
and
is.
both of them, when they hit the field, both of them basically almost run the same offense,
Yep.
you know. But it's a series that West Lincoln leads 8-6 with get one heck of a game last year, 7-6 down at North Lincoln. And, you know, West Lincoln's been waiting on this one, so we're going to see what happens.
Absolutely. We'll get to that one later. South Point traveling to Burns. You can watch that on the Burns Bulldogs YouTube channel. Thomas Jefferson will be going to Cherryville Ironman. You can listen on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM. You can watch this on Shelby Golden Lions YouTube channel. The Shelby Golden Lions will be going to East Gaston to play the East Gaston Warriors. I'm going to say a prayer for East Gaston. And you can watch on the WOHS YouTube channel. Kings Mountain will be going to Stuart Kramer to take on the Storm. So those are all the games that we have going on, whether it's our YouTube channels or our radio station. Those are all the games that we'll be carrying tonight. We also have a bunch of games around the area that we're going to get to first. Shannon, glad you could be here.
Glad
You're
you
wondering
could
where you
come.
were.
I got caught fair traffic.
Fair.
Well,
That's
right.
right. Okay. I wondered why there was so much traffic for me coming down 150 to get here. I was like,
fair's
what?
in town.
Okay. I thought.
This weekend all the way through next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure
Go.
is.
You guys plan to go out there, any? You
Not
go
a
out to the
chance.
fair?
No.
You don't go out?
I do not. No, I don't. I don't go. So that's just. I can spend my money better somewhere else.
No, I understand.
Okay.
I've worked there for, well, not last year was the first year that me and my wife took off, but we'd worked there from 10 to 12 years. She'd worked there for like 12 years in a row, and I'd worked there for 10. And when you're working there, you're working.
Yeah.
There's no sitting back.
No,
I'm
there's-
talking about it's from in the morning, from the
Yeah.
time you start until 12:30 something to 1 in the morning.
That's
when you
right.
finally get done.
It's fair season among us now. Not only are the local fairs starting, if I'm not mistaken, the state fair will be starting as well in the
Weeks.
next few weeks
Yep.
in October. So I might have to take a weekend out to go back out to Raleigh for that. There was a time when I was young me and my family used to go every year. My mom is an NC State graduate, so she has friends still. When she was working out there in Raleigh, we would just go and stay with them, and we would go every year. But it's always a good time to go out there to the state fair, and it's the Cleveland County Fair is big.
Yes, it is.
It's big.
It
If I'm
is.
not mistaken, it's the second largest state fair or county fair in the state.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, and it's right down the road. So that's free advertisement for you right there. If you guys have nothing to do tonight, go either watch football or go to the Cleveland County Fair. But we've got games from around the area to get to. And I'm going to start on the far board. And we're going to start with the matchup tonight of East Rutherford traveling to RS Central. And RS Central so far has had a great year. East Rutherford, on the other hand, they've got the offense. They just can't stop anybody. Shannon.
It's one of those things. At the beginning of the year, I would have flipped what you just said East Rutherford would be the better team at this point in time. Coach Hutchins at RS Central, he came in a couple years ago and put in a new offense. They were mainly the wing tee. He brought in the spread offense, and people said he wouldn't be successful because he didn't have probably the standard athletes that you need to run that offense. But surprisingly, this year he's done very well. East Rutherford, on the other hand, again, high-powered offense, but basically a watered-down defense, if that's the way you say that. So I think tonight at RS Central it'll be a big game. It's a county rivalry up there, and we don't really think of it as a big game, from where we are. But up in Rutherford County, that's a huge, huge ball game. And I'm going to pick Central at home to win this one, and I think it'll be a shootout. I'm going to say it's like a 49-42 game.
Well, I kind of almost agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
East Rutherford comes in there 0-4, RS Central 3-2 on the year, and we saw sparks from RS Central, and then I thought East Rutherford was going to be pretty decent. They got a lot of athletes, but I think they stuck them all on offense and have nobody on defense.
Yeah.
And I wonder, are you going both ways? And you've seen them.
Yeah.
You said there's a few guys going both ways, but you got to be able to stop somebody.
I agree.
I don't care what type of sport you're playing. Defense is the name of the game. If you can stop somebody, you can be in every game. This one tonight, though, over at RS Central probably been waiting on this one. East Rutherford comes in. Can they stop them? I think RS Central's defense might be able to stop them a few times, but I don't think East Rutherford can stop them. So I'm also probably going to go almost the same way. I got RS Central 46, East Rutherford 42.
East Rutherford has had a down year, really, for what I saw them, the talent that they have. But this is definitely, I think, a must-win for East Rutherford, for them to have any kind of morale left with this team. You don't want to go into the season 0-5 at this point.
No.
You're 0-4 right now. It's probably pretty tough in that locker room as is. You got to remember they're young kids, and they want to go out there and they want to win. They don't like losing. And the talk going into this game will be RS Central. I think this could be a trap game for RS Central. RS Central's feeling good. They have a pretty good record right now. They're 3-2. They're playing good football. But the amount of athletes that East Rutherford has, they're going to put up points.
Yeah.
And all it's going to take, maybe, like you said, you think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I could see it too, but all it's going to take is the first team to get stopped.
Yeah.
So if East Rutherford somehow, some way, could get a stop on defense, I think East Rutherford could pull up the upset. And I'm actually going to take East Rutherford with the upset, 42-35.
All right.
That's a hot take out there. I know that they've struggled, but no team, I can tell you from no team as an athlete and former athletes as all of us, you don't want to go 0-5. You don't want to be on the losing side. You want to do everything you can to win.
You mentioned a trap game, so RS Central, you saying it could be a trap game for them?
Yeah, it's going to be a game for trap game for RS Central. Okay. They're going to come in here overlooking a 0-4 squad.
They got Shelby next week.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, yeah. But no, going back
to
RS
RS Central has Shelby next week?
Next week.
Yeah, this would absolutely be a trap game then. They're going to overlook 0-4 to Shelby.
So if they're 3-2, they win this one, they're 4-2. Now you got to look at this conference they're in. You've got Shelby and South Point, but now you've got a Burns in there. Mm-hmm. And now RS Central saying, hey, look, we can put ourselves in the mix here, get a few wins. And I'm not saying they're going to win the conference championship, but they could easily vie for that third place spot in that conference and get them into playoffs and have maybe have a home game. I don't know what their record will be then, but they're in the hunt. They're definitely, they've stuck their nose in the middle of it.
I'm glad that you said that they do play Shelby next week, because that just solidifies me even more of saying it is a trap game, because how many times have we seen it? They just overlook a team because of their record. They just look at it on paper and say, oh, we should win, and they don't go out there and they don't play as hard.
You
So,
know,
they're
though,
overlooked.
but if I'm the coach, I'm sitting
Yeah.
over there and I'm putting up points
Yeah.
of how many they've scored. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
just
Exactly
to
right.
just to have that in front of your defense going, they can score.
they can score. The only question is, can East Rutherford's defense show up tonight?
Yeah.
Lake Norman Charter will be traveling to East Lincoln. I think this is a little bit of a lopsided game. Terry, what say you?
Yeah, this one, Lake Norman Charter comes in 1-3. East Lincoln 4-0. East Lincoln leads this series 4-0. I don't. I mean, I'm not even going to go in depth on this one much. Coach Lubowitz will have his team ready. To me, this is just a skip to the next game. You got to go play, and they're at home, and I think that helps. You know, Lake Norman Charter coming in, he's got to get them to understand game one in the conference. You do not want to fall behind and be an upset of a Lake Norman Charter squad coming in. So this one I think is going to get out of hand early. It'll be whatever East Lincoln wants to score. I'm going to go East Lincoln 56, Lake Norman Charter 14.
Yeah, I agree with you, Terry. Lake Norman Charter, they're struggling. They have the Womack kid at quarterback, who is basically their offense. As he goes, they go. East Lincoln, great defense. I think they're allowing 11 points per game. They're going to stop him tonight. And I'm going to say 49 to – I'll give him 7, because I think Womack's good enough to get – because he can throw. I mean, he's got some yards this year. But I'll at least give him 7. But East Lincoln's stingy on defense.
Here's the question. I have East Lincoln winning this. That's no shot at Lake Norman Charter. Just this is what I'm getting to. Did any of us really expect for the year that East Lincoln had last year to them to be as good early this year?
I did. I mean, I'm going to say I did. I mean, when you looked at this conference, I mean, you always going to say East Lincoln because you're looking at the years past.
Right.
You know, until they totally fall off, that's what you look at. You always look at East Lincoln, you look at Bandage, you look at Maiden, and now all of a sudden North Lincoln put theirself in it. West Lincoln got theirself in it. I mean, until you go way down the conference and Newton Conover, you kind of overlook them. I mean, you know, you maybe go down to Lake Norman Charter and say everybody will beat them, but everybody else, to me, these are big games. Game one in your conference is huge tonight for every one of these teams.
Yeah. So we all are taking East Lincoln to defeat Lake Norman Charter tonight. Lincolnton, staying in this conference, Lincolnton will be traveling to Newton Conover. I've liked Newton Conover since what I saw at the Jamboree. I think they are, you know, you used a good word there for East Lincoln. They're stingy. Well, I'm going to use a different word that's an S word, but not the bad word for Newton Conover. They're scrappy.
Yeah.
Newton Conover is scrappy. What do you think, Shannon, about this Newton Conover-Lincolnton matchup?
I look at last week's game. Lincoln was off last week, but Newton Conover had Burns, and Burns just basically, I didn't see the game, but Burns beat him. It seemed like it was pretty easily.
Yeah.
And that really surprised me because Newton's got some athletes, and I thought they would match up well with Burns.
Maybe that just, preaches to how good Burns is.
That's what. Yeah,
Maybe.
That's an obvious fact on that
Yeah.
one.
Well, I'm just going to throw a stat out there for you. They had 31 yards on 27 carries against Burns. Newton did.
Yeah.
Oh, so Burns' defense
Yes.
showed
Yes.
up. Okay.
Stop.
Yeah, I got something about Burns' defense here in a little bit, but yeah, I think Newton Conover, they've lost the past 2 games, and I think Coach what's his name?
Pack.
Coach Pack.
Yes, used to be at North Lincoln.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's wanting to. I know he is. He's wanting to turn this season around, and it starts with this game. Lincoln, on the other hand, Glass coming there. They got Finger at quarterback, and the Gash kid, I think, received. So I think Glass has got a good nucleus there to work with. But Newton's going to just be. I think the athletes are going to overtake this game, and I say Newton's going to win at home, and I'm going to say it's going to be like a 28-14 type game.
Yeah, well, I'm. This was a game when I first looked at it. I said this is going to be tighter than what we think. I think Lincoln's defense is going to keep them in this game. I mean, you come into this series. This series is, we talk about rivals. This series is 25-25-3. So whoever gets the upper hand tonight will take the lead in this series. But what do I think is going to happen here? I think Lincoln will give them all they want. And if Newton Conover comes out on top, it's going to be in the fourth quarter. I don't think this is going to be easy. Lincoln's defense has been solid against everybody they've played. If they score first, Newton, you're in trouble. That's how I'm going to put it. But I've got Newton winning. I stayed with Newton to win, but I got 31-28.
Yeah.
I have Newton Conover winning this game. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as 31-28. I could see this being a one-score game, 21-14. Newton Conover, Lincolnton. I saw Lincolnton play a little bit this year. Their offense looks to be gelling a little bit more with the freshman at quarterback now. So they're able. He throws the ball better than Mangeras was at the beginning of the year. So they're not so one-dimensional on offense for Lincolnton. Newton Conover, though, they are very athletic. I know they played Kings Mountain in the Jamboree, but what I still saw out of them was enough. And they've got enough athleticism and enough speed. They've got the speed to be able to get sideline to sideline. So I think it'll be, like you said, Terry, it won't be a blowout. I think it'll be close, but I'm going to go 21-14. Newton Conover. South Caldwell is traveling to Watauga. Shannon.
You know, South Caldwell is another one of those teams that's been a surprise this year, and especially from where they were in the past couple of years. Watauga's still, they're still Watauga. They're still a tough team. Playing at home, I don't see them having a problem with South Caldwell, but I think it'll be a close game. As far as, I shouldn't say a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like a 56-0 type game. But Watauga, they just seem to be able to, whatever they're doing is right, and they know how to win, and I think that's huge in high school football. If you know how to win, that's going to put pressure on the other team. So playing at home with Watauga, I'm going to say 49-7. I don't know if you've got any more, 49-27. I'm sorry, but I don't know if you got any more about Watauga or South Caldwell.
Well, I don't have much more. I got South Caldwell 3-2 going up to take on Watauga up there in the mountains. 4-1 now. It's probably 90 degrees up there too. I did say you were 79 a while ago. So the temperature is coming down some. Will that make a difference for South Caldwell? Nah. Watauga's just going to be too strong. South Caldwell's going to go to 3-3 after this game, but they're still the top 4A team in this league. So as long as they can stay ahead of McDowell, they're going to be all right. But Watauga wins this one 42-14.
I'll take Watauga to win this as well. I think it'll be a little bit closer, though. I'm going to go 21-35. I know it doesn't sound close to a 14-point margin, but it's closer than what Terry gave him. So I'll give South Caldwell a few more points. St. Stephen's is traveling to Freedom. St. Stephen's coming off of what we considered in Catawba County a little bit of a rivalry game between St. Stephen's and Fred T. Ford. Now they're going to go down and play Freedom. Terry.
Yeah, St. Stephen's comes in here 2-2, Freedom 3-1. Freedom leads this series 6-0. No problem here. Simple blowout. Freedom 56, St. Stephen's 7.
Yeah, Freedom, they got to respond from last week's loss against Crest, and that was a absolute shootout. That's the game I went to, and it was an incredible type of game because one team couldn't stop the other. Freedom has to work on their defense if they want to do anything in the playoffs. They've got to shore up that defense, but tonight they won't have a problem at all. And I agree, it's going to be like a 49. I'm going to say 49-0 type game. I think they figure it out this week.
Yeah,
St. Stephen's.
No,
no.
I was just
wondering.
I will not be taking St. Stephen's. No. I like to think I'm a little bit smarter than that. Freedom, that was a nail biter that they had last week against Crest. They went back and forth all game. St. Stephen's, though, the football program in years past has not been known as a juggernaut. I'm just plain and simple. They've not really. They play hard. That's all I can say nicely. That's unfortunate. But this is going to be a tough task for St. Stephen's. I'm going to agree with Terry. I could see, or whichever one of you said that St. Stephen's might not score, I could see this being like 35-0 Freedom. With that, we're going to go to commercial break. We will be back with the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. After these messages, got more games that we need to talk about from around the area. You're listening to KTCBroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Gamble's Auto Service at 104 South DeKalb Street at Uptown Shelby is your one-stop service center for repair work on your auto. Locally owned and operated since 1980, they offer light and medium automotive repair on all types of vehicles. Bill Gamble and his friendly staff can do state inspections, minor engine repair work, brakes, air conditioning, and heating service, timing belts, tune-ups, and oil changes, and lubrication. And now Gamble sells new and used tires. Stop by and let Gamble's Auto Service take care of your automotive repairs and servicing. That's Gamble's Auto Service, 104 South DeKalb Street, Uptown Shelby. Call 704-487-5079.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are all 3 special days at Love's Fish Box in Kings Mountain. On Tuesday, it's a large whiting plate with all the trimmings for $6.99. On Wednesday, it's their flounder plate with all the trimmings for $7.99. And on Thursday, it's their 8-ounce hamburger steak plate with peppers and onions or mushroom gravy, choice of potato, slaw, or salad, and hush puppies for $5.99. Love's Fish Box, 1104 Shelby Road, Highway 74 Business West in Kings Mountain. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m.
In honor of those who serve our community 24/7, Shelby's newest and fastest growing store, Everything Must Go, is doing a special Back the Badge Day, Saturday, September 28th, 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. All policemen, firemen, and emergency medical personnel with their families will be honored. Fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances will be in the parking lot for children and adults. And there will be incredible giveaways and door prizes. Don't miss the first annual Back the Badge, Saturday, September 28th at 1157 East Marion Street at Everything Must Go, next to Family Dollar and the Verona Restaurant. Who are you? You're not a goat. Oh, you say you feel like a goat since you didn't buy your car from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And now you're putting up with a bunch of bull. Don't be like my friend here. You get no bull at Renato Honda and Renato Kia at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard. Don't let another dealer get your goat. All right, before we get back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show, we're going to send it over to the Cleveland County Fair. And we've got Captain Ron and Mr. Tar Heel, Gerald Weathers.
Oh, thank you, Calvin. I appreciate
Go Tar Heels.
Go, go, go. We wanted to see a young lady come out here that had a Clemson shirt on just a little bit.
No, I haven't seen one at all. You might have.
Good to have everybody out here at the Cleveland County Fair. We've got a lot of people going up and down the Midway. We're possible here because some of these sponsors, Ron, the Roundup Store, East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, Bicycles, located here in Shelby, Angela's Seafood, also Mitchum's Kitchen, which I had just a good cheeseburger there a few minutes ago from Mitchum's Kitchen. Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome.
And funnel cake from Goblin Gourmet.
That's right. And also some of the other ones, Pfeiffer Cafe and Connections, that's located on East Warren Street in Shelby. Also Dane's at the fair, he's down here on the right. Got all kind of great food as well. Dan's Diner and Concessions, they're celebrating 18 years at the fair. They've got cinnamon roll burgers, they've got the Elvis burger, they've got the burger buns are fresh every day, and they got fresh pizza dough and a special fire oven cooks pizza in 90 seconds. Imagine that. So, also Trackside Trader, which is over beside the tracks on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain. And finally, we I think we failed to mention it, the Roundup Store.
I just mentioned that.
Did you? Okay. Did you say something about chicken coop?
I didn't mention chicken coop. Go ahead and tell
They've
them.
got a chicken coop down at the barn. You go down there and see that as well. They have buildings, cabinets, and Festool tools as well. They're located at East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Read, Calvin's writing. Okay.
No, I don't think it's Calvin's right.
No.
But anyway.
Okay. Ronaldo Kia also is one of our sponsors. Robert Morgan Funeral and Cremation Services, LLC. Domino's of Shelby on Grove Street. And West End Sales and Vale. They have the Coyote mowers, I believe that is.
A coyote.
Coyote. Okay.
Oh, coyote. There you go. That's exactly. And also one of our food sponsors, Roosters, which is where I went.
Okay.
I went down to Roosters and I got chicken on a stick. They got that Frito pie. Yum, yum, yum. Deep fried Oreos, chicken legs, turkey legs. They got fried pickle slices, hamburgers, hot dogs, a lot of burgers, grilled chicken, Philly steak, and Philly chicken as well. So just some of the things, some of the good food here on the Midway. So like you said a while ago, if you come down here and you leave hungry, it's your own fault.
That's exactly right.
And we're not going to do that.
No, we're not. And the kissing, I was going to tell Calvin, the kissing booth is the little tab. It's building up, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're waiting on him, so it is. They said they had to have somebody else because we're just worn out. So they need somebody else.
We are having a good time here at the fair. Come and see us.
That's right. We're right down here below the water wheel and right beside of Hanksters. Come down and see us, and we'll be here until 7 o'clock. So there you go. All right, we're going to send it back to Calvin and the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
But they lack skill. First snap, I leave your backs in the backfield.
Back here on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
You gotta like that.
I like what?
The quarterback is scared. I see it in his eyes. That's right.
Can we put you on tour?
I'm
Can we
telling.
try and make money off you going out there and performing this song?
I'm gonna tell you. I
Yeah.
like it.
You like it?
I'm telling
You
you.
like it? We've got more games to preview tonight from the surrounding area. We just previewed before we went to break St. Stephen's and Freedom. Now we're going to come back with East Burke traveling to West Caldwell. I'm going to try and be nice, but I think this one's going to be kind of an ugly game to watch. Terry, what do you think of this game?
East Burke comes in 1-3. West Caldwell 0-4. Most of West Caldwell points have come in the second half when the game's been out of reach. They've lost 18 straight games at West Caldwell, and just a couple years ago they were making a strive to come back from the old West Caldwell teams I remember back in the 80s and 90s, and then now they have fallen back off the road again. But I'm like you, Hunter, this is not going to be. It'll be whatever East Burke wants to score, and I'm just going to say it easy. If you want to score 60, here's your night. But I'm going to try to keep it in a legit mode. I'm going to say East Burke 51, West Caldwell 7.
Oh, wow. I'm actually flipping that. Because I think that I'm not sold on East Burke, either. And I think if there's going to be a win that West Caldwell's going to get, it's going to be tonight. Stepping
This
out
is
there
that
a little bit.
100-point mistake.
Yeah,
again?
just a little
Oh,
bit.
oh.
Just
Points, 20.
points. No, I really do believe that. I think West Caldwell. I think they're good for one win a year now, and I think this is their win. And I'm going to say it's going to be like a 28-14 game because I'm not sold on East Burke yet.
That still is crazy to me. You put the name.
Man, they
you
scored
put the
21
word,
on West Lincoln.
Yeah.
East Burke did.
Yeah, you put the word West Caldwell, and
different.
in the same sentence with they're about good for one win a year now, and that just don't sound right.
Hey.
It just
Well,
doesn't.
it does not.
You
It
got to
doesn't.
pick up the win sometime.
It doesn't, and it's just
because.
because, like Terry said, and I remember those years you thought they were going to get back. It was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. They were still pretty good. The days that Mr. Titus Tucker was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an absolute freak of an
He
athlete.
had them playing for the conference championship
He
almost.
did. It
You
was,
know what I'm
it was
saying?
him and and it's one of these things where I think West Caldwell has got it's another really East Rutherford moment for me. They haven't won a game all year. East Burke is coming into their house. They got to try and pull out a victory. I could see this, and what I meant by this is going to be an ugly game is I don't think either one of these teams is going to be very pleasing on the eye to watch.
It'd probably be
play
fun
tonight.
to watch. I think it'd be.
Well, for the fans of those two schools, it will be.
Yeah, maybe, but
I mean, for East Burke, they probably licking their chops thinking, hey, guys, this will be win number 2.
okay.
I mean,
well,
West Caldwell win number 1.
Yeah, I
okay,
mean,
but if I was to go up there, I probably wouldn't see as good of football as the fans think that they're seeing. So for me, I'm gonna say East Burke is gonna win this, but it's gonna be like 17-7.
Yeah.
It's gonna be low scoring.
This isn't one of those games you'd go to say, hey, that seems like a good ball game. I'm going to go to West Caldwell. If I'm going
Trust
that
me.
far, I'm going to Boone.
51.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm going that
Seen that
far, I'm
more.
going somewhere else. What'd you say, Terry?
I
You
said, trust me, 51-7.
51-7. Watch this be a 51-7 opposite swing. So,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh, Terry. Hickory is going to McDowell. Shannon, what do you think about this?
Terry,
one?
this is another one of those games that you got two teams that are, struggling. I guess you could say. I think Hickory's struggling because of what they've done in the past. They've always had the athletes. They've always been very competitive on the field, and they've just hit a lull here, this year, maybe past couple of years. But McDowell, a team that's, as you mentioned before, South Caldwell, they're vying for that top 4A spot, wherever that top 4A spot falls in that conference. But I think Hickory's going to be too much for them, even as quote, as bad as they are. I think they'll have more speed. I think they'll be able to get the edges, and I think they're just going to run McDowell. I think she's going to run them out of the stadium. So I'm going to say Hickory 35, McDowell 7.
35-7.
Yes.
I think this is a game that McDowell must win. I mean, RS Central only barely beat McDowell at the start of the year. Hickory comes in 0-5. They do lead this series 13-7, but they've been outscored this year 192-58. So they're not putting points up,
right?
And don't get me wrong, they've played Statesville and some decent teams.
Good team, yeah.
Yeah, but coming into this one, I think McDowell, since they're playing at home, this is going to be a very low-scoring game, and I've got McDowell winning this one 13-7 over Hickory.
I'm going to take Hickory to beat McDowell 14-7.
I don't see how they're going to score more than 14 points. Hickory's going to blow them out of them. They're going to beat them.
They've scored 58.
They play, like you said, they played stouter competition, though.
Okay.
So 2 for McDowell, two for Hickory, 1 for McDowell. We'll forgive Terry for that later.
Yeah.
Drawn is going to West Iredell. Shannon.
Again, a game that I don't think it's going to be a ball game. I think West Iredell is going to be too much for Drone. Again, I don't know about Burke County. I don't really know. You think about them in the past. They've had the 2 schools. Now they're broken up into 4 schools, and I think that has hurt their county, their football in that county. But that's me sitting here. But I just think this game, West Iredell, I think they're going to be physically stronger. They're going to be quicker, and I think they're just going to do whatever they want to in Drone. It'll be over by second quarter. So I'm going to say West Iredell 49, Drone. I'm going to say 0. I don't think they'll score.
Drone comes in here 3-2, 1-0 in the conference against a West Iredell team that is 2-2. The victory for Drone come over Fred T. Ford. So when I look at that, I think Drone from the start of the year when they played West Lincoln and got dribbled has changed. I mean, they beat Cherryville 61-0, and they've had some decent victories here lately. I think that sometimes, and Shannon, we talk about this, sometimes winning changes things.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they think they can play. I'm going to go with an upset here for Drone on the road. I'm going to say Drone 24, West Iredell 17.
I like the pick, Terry. I like the pick. I'm going to go Drawn 17, West Iredell 14. 3-point game. I think it'll be a very competitive game.
It's going to be a blowout.
This is another one where it's someone else's time. This is going to be a blowout. Are we looking for a 100-point swing? Is that what we're seeing? 100-point swing?
Yeah, I'm living on the edge tonight. Yeah,
You want to talk about, you made the joke this game might be over in the second quarter. Well, this one might be over in the first quarter unless Bunker Hill decides to pull out the stops they did on my Bandy's Trojans. Because High Brighton is going into Bunker Hill tonight, and I feel sorry for the Bears. Terry.
All right. High Brighton leads this series 11-4. And you're right. High Brighton's not playing Bandy's tonight. They're playing Bunker Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So this is.
But Bunker Hill is also playing High Brighton, and Bunker Hill beat Bandy's the other night.
Again, this will be over before the second quarter.
I'm trying, Bunker
No,
Hill.
not really. Bunker Hill, I think that. Remember at the start of the year when I told people Bunker Hill might not have many more wins, but it's a better football team than what they had last year.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden they beat Bandy's.
And I still don't know why. No one will give me a straight answer over there.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah.
But I don't think they've got enough athletes to play with High Brighton, and I think that'll make the difference tonight. And I've got High Brighton. I'm going to give 35, Bunker Hill 14.
Yeah, I agree. It's what Bunker Hill's doing is great. Again, how they beat Bandy's is one of those how far as you beat South Point.
Yeah.
You don't know. You just don't know what was going on that night. But I think High Brighton, even what they lost last year, I think they're going to be too strong up front for Bunker Hill and just too quick, for them. So I agree, 49-7 type game, High Brighton.
I think High Brighton wins this 42-0. Ford going to Patton. Ford will be taking on Patton. Shannon, what do you think about this game?
Ford's one of those teams that I want to pick them because they seem like they're doing the right things. They seem like they may not win as much, but they're always one of those teams that can come out of nowhere and beat you. I always go back to the maiden game, playoff game a couple years ago. It was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always go back to that games like they came out of nowhere and just shut Maiden out of the playoff first round. And I think I know this is a different team, but I think tonight, I think they're going to be too strong for Patton. I think they're going to come in. I think they're going to. I'm not going to say have their way with Patton, but I think they'll run it. I think they'll move the ball up the field. I think they're going to be physically stronger up front. So I'm going to say Ford in like a 21-7 type game over Patton, because Patton, on the other hand, again, one of those Burke County schools. I think football up there has really taken a hit with this, and I just don't. I don't see them winning.
Well, this is the 8th meeting between these two teams. Patton leads the all-time series 4-3. Fred T. Ford comes in 0-5, 0-1 in the conference against a Patton team that's 1-3. And Shannon, I'm almost going to go with you. I think Fred T. Ford, this is a game they can win. They're playing a Patton team, but they got Fred T. Ford has a good running back. Corey Seamer is the running back, 761 yards, 113 carries for him. He's the guy that leads the way, and I'm almost like you. I think it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be a good game to watch for people who come to watch it, and I've got Fred T. Ford winning this one also, 21-17.
I thought they haven't won a game yet. I thought Ford won one.
No, Ford has not.
They have not.
What's crazy enough, if you're a betting man, take Patton, because all three of us are taking Ford. I was going to take Ford tonight as well. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go 14-10 Ford over Patton. We're finally going to our final few games in the surrounding area. There's one I'm going to save for last. You understand why. So we're going to start with Hunter Huss traveling to North Gaston. Hunter Huss, it seems like they've had a kind of a down year compared to last year at least. It's hard to beat what you did last year, but we still have them third in our power poll. Terry thinks that's absolutely blasphemous, so I'm going to start with Terry in this game. Hunter Huss is going to North Gaston.
They're funny because they started off the year losing 3-0, and then they somehow score a touchdown in the fourth quarter and win 7-3. And that was the final of the game. And then somehow they turn around and win another game. I mean, their defense is decent to keeping them in a lot of games, but their offense is not producing for me. But they're going to play a North Gaston that everybody scores against. And Hunter Huss 3-1, North Gaston 1-3. Pretty simple. Hunter Huss 35, North Gaston 13.
Hunter Huss, I think their defense is. I think his defense is pretty good. I think they're. I mean, obviously, they've probably offensively it's one of those things. The defense is keeping them in the games.
Yes.
And they're hoping, not waiting, but they're hoping that offense can catch up. First conference game tonight. You want to get off on a big win, and you want to get 1-0 in that conference. North Gaston, on the other hand, is sitting in the game. You can do that win, and I think Hunter Huss will not have a problem. I think Coach McCoy down there, he is doing. If you don't know him, he is doing the right things at Hunter Huss, and he's turning those kids' lives around. And you got to commend him for that. And I think I think it's showing on his football team as well. So I'm gonna say Hunter Huss 42, North Gaston 14.
I'm going to take Hunter Huss as well. Zoe Wallace is still a playmaker in himself.
Oh yeah.
He's the athlete that can do it from the quarterback position. North Gaston, unfortunately, he's having another one of those years where talent-wise they're not quite there. Hunter Huss is going to come out. I think that they win this game 35-7. I think that they come out on top of North Gaston 35-7. Hunter Huss. Union Academy and Christ the King will be playing tonight. Shannon, how do you think about
I don't
this?
have a clue about this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know, but I'm just gonna say Union Academy will win. I'm gonna pick Union Academy. And Terry, you got the stats. I'll let you.
Give me a score.
I don't know. 3-0.
3-0.
No. I'm gonna say
That's only a 3-point swing.
Oh.
So if it goes vice versa.
no. I'm gonna say 21-7 Union Academy. 'Cause I don't know much about these.
Well,
teams.
I'm the same way. Union Academy comes in 2-1, 1-0, can go just like Cherryville did, can run their record to 2-0 in the conference with victory tonight. Christ the King has played 5 conference games. They're 0-5. They do have a forfeit in one of them that they was supposed to play Thomas Jefferson, but they took the forfeit. Sometimes I sit back and say, you know what, maybe that's what you should have done, because they saw what Mountain Island did to them, 80-0. And Thomas Jefferson probably would have did the same thing. But here's a game that Christ the King, hey, suit up, go play it. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what we might think. Christ the King did score 20 points on Cherryville, so they can get into the end zone every now and then. So Union Academy 28, Christ the King 7.
I'll take Union Academy as well. So again, betting man, go bet on Christ the King, but I'm taking Union Academy as well. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to give it 14-10, Union Academy over Christ the King. Highland Tech traveling to Community School of Davidson. Going to throw this one over to Terry.
Yeah, this is a game that when you come in, I know at the start of the year, I always, and some people say you shouldn't, but I do. I always hope Highland Tech can have a season where they can compete for a playoff spot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I thought maybe this year would be one, but I mean, we never know who they got there and who they do not have or who's transferred somewhere else. But Highland Tech comes in 0-3, 0-1. Community School of Davidson 2-2, 1-1. I just think this is whatever Community School of Davidson wants to score. I'm going to say 49-20, Community School of Davidson.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. I don't think Highland is going to be able to. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up. Again, you don't know who's there. You don't understand. I think last year that got them off in the right direction, but you got to have some athletes in there to keep going in that direction. And we all know the situation with the school, and so they have to just play what they have. So, but yeah, Community School of Davidson, I think they're going to win, and I'm saying 42-7.
I was going to take Community School of Davidson as well. I don't recommend you taking this one to the bank as a bettor on Highland Tech. That's just me. But Community School of Davidson I have coming out on top 35-0 over Highland Tech. Mountain Island Charter is traveling to Bessemer City. Send this one to Terry.
Well, this is a game. Mountain Island Charter comes in 3-1, 1-0 against a Bessemer City team who is 1-3, 1-0 also in the conference. This was a game last year that everybody remembered. I did, because they were playing at Mountain Island, and Mountain Island almost was like, here's your cup of tea. We're going to go out here and beat you. If we just don't score too many points. But Bessemer City ends up winning the game 18-8. Here we are again. Bessemer City leads this all-time series 4-0. What will happen tonight? It is at Bessemer City. Guys, I'm going to sit back, and some people are going to say, you have just blown a rocket. But I'm going to take Bessemer City to knock Mountain Island Charter off again. And I'm going to say this one's going to be 35-32, Bessemer City.
Well, Coach Boone at Bessemer City, I think just by last year, I think he's probably one of the handful of coaches that knows how to stop Elijah Burris. And I think Burris has almost 700 yards rushing, but I don't know if he's got help. I mean, I know he's got athletes around him at Mountain Island, but I agree with you. I agree with you. They're playing at Bessemer. Bessemer they now have a great defense, but they got a stout defense, and then they're stingy, if you will, or they're rugged, they're raw. They'll get after it. And I think they play up to their level of competition. I think this is the type of game that Bessemer says, okay, you think you're the best, let's see how good you really are. And I think they're going to shut down Burris. And so I agree with you. I think it's going to be like a 21-14. I think Burris will get his, but I think they're going to have enough to stop him, when he gets into the red zone. And inside the 20s, he'll get it. But I think Bessemer will win.
Saw Bessemer City play last week against North Lincoln. Bessemer City really had some struggles on the offensive side of the ball. I think Mountain Island Charter is going to come out here and win this game at least 21-7. Bessemer City, just what I saw, the quarterback. I'm not taking a shot at anybody, but he's 5'5", He's very tiny to try and play quarterback, and they want to throw the ball a little bit. So that just when I saw that they have some struggle offensively, I'm going to take Mountain Island Charter to defeat Bessemer City. I cannot remember what I said, so I'm going to say something again. 35-7. I think Bessemer City will at least get there, so I think Mountain Island Charter is going to come out with a victory. With that, we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the last few games from around the area to cover, and then it looks like I'm going to have to let you guys take over this part, the games that we're covering. I'm going to have to get out of here a little bit early to try and get over there to West Lincoln in time for me to do the pregame show over there. So, yeah, we'll be back after these messages on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show, KDCBroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Our friends at Cleveland County Council on Aging take this special time out to remind our listeners, when weather conditions are extreme, please keep an extra eye out for our seniors. Remember, everyone, let's keep our seniors safe during this time of year. That's from Paulette and staff at the Cleveland County Council on Aging, where they're always concerned for the safety of our older Americans. Call 704-482-3488. That's 704-482-3488 for information about their fans for the seniors. They're dedicated to compassion and committed to our older Americans. Seniors are number one. Please donate fans.
Saturday, September 28th from 10 to 4. You are invited to come to the first Fall Festival at Splinters and Rags on Highway 27 West in Vale, North Carolina. Hello there, this is Milton Baker. I invite you to join me and the Dr. Randy Davis for a live remote broadcast that day from 10 to 1 at Splinters and Rags Fall Festival. Come on out and bring the family. There'll be booths filled with antiques, primitives, crafts, trash to treasures, and food and drink for sale. There'll be Amish baked goods, Amish furniture, antiques and primitives, artists, old signs and bottles, vintage rescues, barbecue, hot dogs, and more. And register for great door prizes from Splinters and Rags, and register for great door prizes from the radio station too. Again, our live remote broadcast is from 10 to 1, Saturday, September 28th. At Splinters and Rags, 5865 Highway 27 West in Vale, North Carolina. For more details, call 704-276-1644.
At All Care Insurance Services in Shelby, Gastonia, and Belmont, they can help you with all of your insurance needs. Whether it be home, auto, life, commercial, and more, their agents will shop your rates to ensure you are receiving the best price for the coverage you need. Visit one of their offices near you. 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, 4515 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia, and 7005 East Wilkinson Boulevard in Belmont. Your local service for insurance is All Care Insurance Services, serving this area since 1984. For all of your auto performance needs, head to Kings Mountain Auto Supply, located at 904 West Gold Street in Kings Mountain. No matter the car or truck you drive, Kings Mountain Auto Supply is what you need to keep you on the road. Talk with one of the local staff members for your hard-to-find parts at an affordable price. You get top quality and service with a smile at Kings Mountain Auto Supply, 904 West Gold Street in Kings Mountain. Who are you? You're not a goat. Oh, you say you feel like a goat since you didn't buy your car from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And now you're putting up with a bunch of bull. Don't be like my friend here. You get no bull at Renato Honda and Renato Kia at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard. Don't let another dealer get your goat. All right, speaking of goats, I think there's two old goats out at the Cleveland County Fair. Let's check in with Captain Ron and Gerald Weathers. There's a goat. There's an old goat.
Man, I hear you. That's right. Two old goats and one beautiful woman sitting here. How are you,
right.
Priscilla? We have Priscilla
Somebody
Mitchell hanging out with us just a little bit. That's right. I have all kinds of people come and see me.
That's right.
That's right. So, but anyway, we are right here at the Cleveland County Fair, right below the water wheel, and in our booth here across from Dorton Exhibit Hall. So you can come by and see us two old goats anytime you want to. We'll be here till 7 o'clock.
And we are at the 95th edition of the Cleveland County Fair. And we're here on Rothtoffer shows, I believe, the Midway.
Say that again.
Rothtoffer.
Rothtoffer.
Rothtoffer. And here comes
Easy for you to
ladies,
say.
several young ladies coming down the
Yeah, way too young for you,
Midway
Gerald.
now.
That's right. By the way, the Midway hours are open until 11 tonight. And coming up at 7 o'clock, some things going on. Renee Riddle and the Ramblers are going to be right across from us. Pilots of the Colombian Caribbean are going to be starting here in about 10 minutes or so, I believe it is. Yep, 6:30. It's 6:20 now. Also at 6 o'clock, it just started the Speedway Racing Pigs. Gerald, you missed it. You'll have to wait till the next race.
I'll have to wait till the next race.
That's right. Jamio and Electrifying Magic. They start at 6 o'clock as well. And the Act Monsters Chainsaw Art. This is going on.
Yeah.
All
I have seen
time,
that
so.
before. In years past, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yes, it
he
is.
can take that chainsaw and just do it without anything with it.
That's right. I tell you, and some of the sponsors here at the fair that make it possible are Parker Farms Service in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, Sism and Son, Webb Chemical and Paper, Steve's Gun Shop, LLC, Personal Services, that's on DeKalb Street in Shelby, I believe. No, I believe it's moved now. I believe it's
Well, they have an office in
Yeah,
Shelby,
yeah.
Gastonia, and Far City. So there you go.
and Pet Haven, Ron.
That's over in Cherryville.
Cherryville.
That's exactly right. Also, some of the other ones, Full Throttle Power Sports. Also, JD Furniture on Lafayette Street in Shelby, and Parker Farm Service over in Kings Mountain, and they've got the Kubota line. So there you go. Also, some of our food sponsors that we have failed to mention so far today, the Vinegar Fry Guy.
Ooh, I tell you, I seen him. You can see him right here from our booth.
That's right, guy. He's got 2 locations here at the fair. You can go by and check out the Vinegar Fry Guy, and also Old Style Foods. They're at the bottom of the hill, and they are across from the Cleveland County Fire Department. They've got fresh squeezed lemonade, roasted corn on the grill, and cold iced tea. And the corn guy, that's who they is. You can go see him today. He's got the roasted corn. That's really good stuff.
That's right. Anything cold today would feel pretty good.
I know. Now, you just said the temperature was dropping.
Yeah, temperature is 89 I've got. It was 91 a little bit earlier.
That's what I've got 89 here as well.
Okay.
So we'll be here until 7 o'clock, Gerald.
Yes.
So you can come on by and check us out here and check out some of the things going on. And you can go down and ride all those rides. Who was it said they rode?
Joe Cook and Debbie, his wife, said they rode 3 or 4
The
different
Tornado.
rides. Okay.
And the Himalaya.
Himalaya.
And something else. But his wife
Wait,
looked at me and she shook her head. No, he didn't ride that. So
Well, he was serious about it, so I figured maybe they did. But
I believe he was a good actor.
well, and I got a Grand Hill card he gave me, and you got a Perkins.
That's right, Sam Perkins.
Sam
He
Perkins
gave us
from
some
Carolina.
cards. That's
Yeah,
exactly
he gave us
right.
a
So
card.
Gerald, who's at stay?
Joe
Calvin,
Cook.
you'll just have to wait to get your card till
That's
later.
right.
So.
Yeah, he said he was going to give Calvin one.
That's
Coming
right,
up
he
around
did.
Christmas.
Christmas, he said, wait till
That's
Christmas.
right,
So
that's
that'll
right.
be good. All right, well, come by and see us. We're right here, like I say, right below the water wheel before you get down here to Hankster's Foods. You come by and see us. We'll be here till 7 o'clock. All right, back to the
Okay.
studio and the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
Sounds good.
You hear them pads going.
It's gonna be fun.
You hear them clicks.
We're back here on the Witherspoon Pregame Insurance Show. Gonna have to get these last few games out of the way for me before I have to head on down the road and call the North Lincoln West Lincoln game. Got to get out there to West Lincoln. So we're gonna go ahead and knock these out. I'm saving one for last. Terry done tried to rub it in my face. Madison will be traveling to Chase tonight. I'm gonna start with Shannon. Terry's made me mad.
So this is a long trip now from Madison down the mountain coming to Chase. And I think a game like this, yeah, these are teenage kids and young men. I think the weather will have effect on Madison tonight playing Chase because Chase has put together something pretty special this year. And I think they're building on that. As you mentioned a while ago, Terry, that winning is, you may not have said this, but it breeds confidence.
It does.
And it's contagious. And Chase has grabbed a hold of it. And I think Coach Radford over there, he has got these kids believing in his system, and it's going to propel them forward this game. I think tonight they will have their way with Madison. And I'm going to say it's going to be a 35-14 type game, and Chase will win at home tonight. At the farm. I think they call it the farm.
That's
now,
right,
here
the
at Chase.
farm.
The farm.
That's
yeah.
right. You take a left, you come out to the farm.
Come out to the farm.
That's right. Chase comes in 4-0. Madison has been outscored this year. 257-26. They've been held scoreless 3 times. This is going to be welcome to the farm, and we're giving you no milk. So, Chase 51, Madison 0.
Tell you what, Chase is number 9 in our What's Up Shopper Power Poll. And Chase, I agree with both of you, is going to come out on top tonight. I believe Chase has got something cooking down there. And I think it's legit. I don't think it's one of those things where, oh, they might not have played anybody. No, I think it's legit. I think Chase is going to be a serious contender in their conference. I've got Chase winning this game 42-14 over Madison. Now, drum roll, please. Those teams in the... Oh, no.
Oh, there he goes, man. Oh, wow.
Okay, Hunter, keep going. You are ready
That blue team
for the battle.
across the county will be traveling to play on Randy Lohman Field against my Bandy's Trojans. I am an alumni, for those of you who have been following us long enough to know that, of the Bandy's High School. Both teams coming off of a bye last week. So they both had a week to prepare for each other. And a little bit extra. Bandy's, unfortunately, the week prior, was coming off. And I'm going to put it this way. It was an embarrassing loss to Bunker Hill. That was a game you were expected to go into and at least put up 20 to 30 points. That didn't happen. You put up 9. And you got beat 12-9. Maiden does not like us. We do not like Maiden. So I'm going to start with Shannon.
All right, at the beginning of the year, I would say, because I'm not a Maiden fan at all, but I would say that not against the kids. It's just it's one of
No,
those
it's
things.
not.
You know
it's
what I'm
never
saying?
against the
Yeah.
kids unless you're
No,
a student.
you're
Then you
right.
kind of take it that way.
So but I would have said at the beginning of the year, I would have thought that Bandy's would be able to win this game. But you got beat by Bunker Hill. I mean, you
You're
got
preaching
beat
to
by
the choir
Bunker Hill.
right now.
Yeah, you got something's not right if you get beat by Bunker Hill and you just get 9. Was that just 3 field goals? Is that what they got?
I think it was, what was it? 3 field goals, or it was either a touchdown and
Touchdown?
safety.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Well, it don't
9
matter. It wasn't
points.
pretty no matter
yeah.
what. It's 9.
So that just happened. When did that happen? How long ago?
2 weeks.
2
ago.
weeks
2 weeks ago.
And have they played since then?
Nope. Both of
No.
them had bye weeks last
So
week.
they've both been stewing on that, and or Bandy's has been stewing on that a little bit. So I'm going to have to say I'm going to pick Maiden in this one because you got beat by Bunker Hill 12-9, and that's my only reason why. And I'm going to say Maiden's going to go into Randy Lohman's field. Randy
This
Lohman's
is field.
stadium. It's Randy
Yep.
Lohman Field.
This is field.
Nice stadium up there, but it's Maiden's going to plant their flag on the 50-yard line, and they're going to
They're gonna
roll.
pull a Baker
in this
Mayfield
one.
on us?
I think they will. I think they will.
That's a good way to get fired. That's a good way to get some fights going.
35-7, Maiden.
35-7.
35-7.
You think Bandy's only gonna put 7 points up?
You only put 9 against Bunker Hill.
You
And
put 9, and it was a touchdown and a safety. Is how you scored in that game. But this whole series started way back in 1955. Maiden won 50-0 in game 1. They went on a streak of where Maiden won 25 games, lost none, and tied 3. So on year 29, as they went, Bandy's finally pulls off a win. And it was 9-6.
What year was that?
This was in 1981.
Okay.
But the biggest deal of this was in 1981, the kicker for Bandy's that hit the winning field goal had a dislocated shoulder. A few years later, as we come up into 1986, they finally won at Maiden, 9-6. Guess what? The field goal kicker had a dislocated shoulder for them to win that game.
I'm noticing a trend. I don't know
So-
if it's meant to be that way, but I'm noticing a trend. He lost his train of thought. I
That's
got
what I'm
it.
saying.
I
That
got it.
Bandy's has not had back-to-back victories against Maiden since 2006, 2007. And what do I think is going to happen tonight? Maiden has won 11 of the last 15. They lead the overall series 49, 14, and 3. So this will be win number 50 for Maiden if they can accomplish tonight. And I have got Maiden winning this one about like Shannon. I'm going to say until Bandy's, I was so impressed with them at the start, but you lost to Bunker Hill. I do not know what they saw, what they didn't see. All I do know is y'all come in there with 8 guys that have over 100 yards.
Listen.
Yes. And I'm like, how can you be stopped and held to 9?
And it wasn't no inclement weather or anything. It's not like the field was nasty. It was perfect conditions for Friday night.
Whatever Bunker Hill saw is what Maiden has already saw.
Let me tell you something. The kids on this football team, whether they're sophomores, juniors, and seniors, very rarely do you see freshmen playing on the varsity squad. The seniors are going to forget about it next year, but they'll never forget it. They won't have to think about it going into a game next year if they play Bunker Hill again, but it'll always be with them. You're the team that lost to
It'll
Bunker.
always come up.
Yeah, it'll always come up. You're the team that lost to Bunker Hill, 12-9. And it'll be in those guys that'll be on the teams next year's brain. But going into this one, I think last week's practices for Bandies, for Bandies, that's been on their mind, and it's been a driving factor. And not only with the fact that, like I said, Bandies don't like Maiden, and Maiden don't like Bandies. I don't care what the numbers are, wins, losses, they don't like each other. It's the honest to God truth. When it comes to athletics, they just don't like each other. So when it comes to that, I think that Bunker Hill loss has added fuel to the fire, not only knowing that it's the rivalry game against Maiden. And usually, I'll say this about the Maiden Bandies games, always a great turnout out there, brings a great crowd in, and they usually have a fundraiser for it. I don't know if it's a fundraiser tonight for it. It's usually for breast cancer awareness.
Yeah,
That's
it
something
usually
that,
is.
it's what they do between Maiden and Bandies, a pink out sometimes, depending on where they're at. So if you're in the area, I highly suggest you go out there and watch the ball game. But I'm going to take Bandies in this game. And I know both of them are coming off of a bye, so both of them are going to be well rested. It should be a good football game. I'm going to take Bandies not just because I'm an alumni and I'm not ever going to choose that team in blue, but I'm going to take Bandies because I think they've got a little bit of extra motivation than Maiden does. I think that the coach definitely got into them somewhere. I'm not going to say it on air, but he got into them and said that's probably unacceptable, that loss that we had against Bunker Hill. We need to really step it up against Maiden. It's going to be close. It's going to be, I got it 28-23. Bandies over Maiden.
I got Maiden 28, Bandy 17.
35-14 Maiden.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be right.
This is. But
Well, what time? Let me
do
see
you
what
need to
time
borrow
is it.
my hat?
Do I?
Do you need to borrow my hat?
No, I will not borrow that hat, sir.
Okay.
If I borrow that hat, Terry, I promise you, you're not getting it back, and it's not because I kept it. I promise you, it is not because I kept it. It's probably because it's somewhere else lit on fire, or I gave it away. So we'll see.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave the rest of you guys because I actually have to get out of here right now so I can get over there for the North Lincoln-West Lincoln game. But I will say this. That wraps up all of the games in the surrounding area. Now you guys get to listen to Terry and Shannon go back and forth on who they think is going to be the winners from tonight's games on all of our broadcast channels. And we're actually going to take a commercial break.
That's
So it's
it.
a perfect time for me to slip out of here. We'll be back here on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show with some more Shannon Allen and Terry Reinhardt after these messages. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
At Brown & Howell Cosmetic Dentistry in Shelby, their goal is to bring smiles to life. And by doing so, you get the best in dental care. Brad & Howe Dentistry serves all of your family needs, including implant services, and they participate in Cigna, Delta Dental, United Healthcare, and MetLife insurance companies. And senior citizens get a 10% discount, and it applies to a list of services, including invisible braces. Call 704-484-0611 for your appointment. Brad & Howe Cosmetic Dentistry, 1210 East Marion Street in Shelby.
How would you like for you and your family to win free tickets to a Carolina Panther football game? Of course you would, and you can. Win 4 Carolina Panther Seattle Seahawks tickets, Carolina Panther caps and t-shirts, and $100 in fun money. Register today with no obligation to buy at Flooring America on Slater Street, Kings Mountain, at Dallas Express Pharmacy, Hoffman Street in Dallas, Carolina Hardware on the Reeksville Road in Lincoln, at Full Throttle Power Sports on Indian Walk in Lowell, at Arnold's Jewelry on South Washington Street in Shelby, at Mitchell's Kitchen on Highway 27 West in Vale, at Love's Fish Box on the Shelby Road, Kings Mountain, and at Basic Finance Company on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. The drawing will be held Friday, October 25th. So register today and head to the Carolina Panthers Seattle Seahawks football game on us.
Our heat has backed off today from what we had around here yesterday. We're also watching for a few showers, maybe a storm as we head into the evening and overnight. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy tonight with about a 30% chance for a shower or storm. The low, upper 60s to about 70. A chance for some showers and storms tomorrow, more likely as we head into the evening hours. The high temperature mid to upper 80s. Sunday is partly cloudy. It is hotter with upper 80s to low 90s the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's
6:36, and the temperature is?
Since 1977, Shelby Heating & Air has been serving this area with the finest in Carrier heating and air conditioning products. Turn to the experts. Turn to Carrier and Shelby Heating & Air. Plus, they service all brands and are accredited A+. Visit their website at shelbyheating.com. Just call 704-487-7877 for Shelby Heating & Air, voted best heating and air conditioning in Cleveland County and a member of the Better Business Bureau.
The Cleveland County Arts Council presents the 17th Annual Art of Sound Music Festival End of Summer Bash in Uptown Shelby on Friday and Saturday, September 27th and 28th. The festival will feature a variety of music styles and family fun at both indoor and outdoor venues. So mark your calendar now for September 27th and 28th and enjoy the Art of Sound in Uptown Shelby. For more details and a schedule, go to artofsoundcc.com or call 704-484-2787.
Buying a home can seem like a daunting task, but it's really not with Homestar Financial. With a short phone call, we can get you pre-approved. Once pre-approved, you're free to shop for the home of your dreams. At Homestar Financial, we can tell you the price or payment range that you qualify for. Your realtor will appreciate that you took the time to get pre-approved. So call me today. Let's make buying a home a dream come true. With Homestar Financial, it's quick and easy with no surprises at closing. Call today.
Okay, let's send it out to the Cleveland County Fair with Captain Ron and Gerald.
That's right. We're here at the Cleveland County Fair, right here below the water wheel. We got our little booth set up. We're sitting here. The sun's going down. The temperature's cooling off just a little bit, Gerald. We've got more people coming down from the gates up here, headed toward the Midway.
You're right, and as you said, I didn't check my temperature to see what it is. You might do that real quick, Ron.
It says 89, but it's cooler than 89.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's cooling down a good bit.
It is
out here, and like you say, the Midway's getting more full by the minute now. They're coming in quite a bit.
They are. They're coming in through the gates, coming out through here. None of them stopped to see us, though, except for Priscilla.
That's right.
So we appreciate Priscilla. And she said your brother?
Yep.
Priscilla don't want to talk. Her brother's coming in with 4 grandbabies, right? So, and you're going to push the grandbabies around, are you? She said no, she's going to watch. Oh, my goodness, Priscilla. You got to help 4 of them. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, there's a lot going on. You know what's going on today here?
Yes, there is a lot going on. We got the exhibit hall that you can go through. A lot going on in the exhibit hall. My brother came by a little bit ago and said they really enjoyed the stuff in there. Renee Riddle and the Ramblers will start up again at 7 o'clock. We've got Pirates of the Colombian Caribbean at 6:30. That's going on now. Pig races will be starting here again. They're already going on at 6 o'clock. Jay Matilla Electrifying Magic Show outside Weathers Arena. No relation at 7:30. Act Monsters Chainsaw Art, that continues going on daily, Ron.
That's right, and I will let me tell you something. We've got a lady down here, Judy Long. She has a place down here called Sweet Sensations. It's down on the bottom of the hill on the right across from Mitchum's Kitchen. She's got apple dumplings, fresh apple dumplings.
Ooh, I tell you, I need a dessert.
She's got peach cobbler.
Okay.
She's got soft serve ice cream you can put up on top of that cobbler. She's also got pork rinds, freshly made pork rinds, and kettle corn as well. Go down there and check her out. See Miss Judy down there, Judy Lowe, and ask for some of those good old apple dumplings.
And also the Smoke Shacks here at the Cleveland County Fair, home of the Mountain Magic Country Barbecue, fried collard green sandwiches, barbecue, brisket, smoked sausage, hillbilly fries, macaroni and cheese, fried okra, and here's another dessert, Lulu's ice cream.
We got plenty of ice cream here. It's hot enough where we could eat ice cream now. I remember coming to the fair and you couldn't eat ice cream because you had to wear a sweatshirt.
Cold. I come out here one time in a big old heavy coat years
ago.
Did you? Right.
All right, just some more of our sponsors before we get back to the studio. We want to thank some of them. We want to thank ElmoreOutdoors.org. That's Jason Elmore. They have the Sunday morning radio broadcast. They sponsor some of our Sunday morning radio broadcasts. They are also in Dorton Hall during the Cleveland County Fair. Also Sandy's Crafts and Variety Store, and that's out on West Dixon Boulevard. Also Clay & Associates Real Estate. They're located at South Cal Street in Shelby. And also Barrett's Floor Covering. They've got 15% off carpet and vinyl remnants, and that's in Shelby as well. Also West End Sales and Service up in Vale. They've got Club Cadets. The S&K Greenhouse, easy for me to say. Right. Also Sheila Sheds, 3 locations now, Shelby, Cherryville, and Lincoln, and finally Ronaldo Honda Auto Mall out on 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Just some of our sponsors helping to make this broadcast possible.
Exactly. We couldn't be out here, Ron, if it wasn't for them.
That's exactly right. So we're going to be here about another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, 18 minutes maybe, or 20 or 15, depending on how long we have to stay.
Right.
And but we'll be here. Come on down and see us. We're here at the Cleveland County Fair, the 95th annual Cleveland County Fair.
Exactly. We're having a ball.
That's right. Calvin, back to you and the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
You hear them pads going clack, 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 clack. You hear them clicks going tap, tap, tap. 704 beats by Alex. Yeah.
And we are back here at the Witherspoon pregame show. Thanks to Gerald and Ron out there at the Cleveland County Fair.
Must be nice to have a fun job out there to do tonight.
I would go out there to eat. Yeah, just go show up to. Yeah, I'd go to eat the food. That food's good stuff out there.
Ron, y'all bring us back some food. Y'all just collect and bring to us.
Yeah. Yes. Don't forget now.
That's right.
Little inside joke there. Hey, we're gonna keep rolling with these games. We're going to start with the games now that you can listen to on the radio. This first one is going to be Thomas Jefferson at Cherryville. This is going to be on WCSL 1590 AM or 92.3 FM. And Terry, you want to talk about? You'll start this one. Thomas Jefferson taking on Cherryville.
I can. Thomas Jefferson comes in 4-0, 1-0 in the conference against Cherryville at 2-3. 2-0 in the conference. Thomas Jefferson leads this all-time series 5-1. Only win for Cherryville was one I do remember a few years back, 35-34. It come down to the very fourth quarter at the very end of the game, and Cherryville pulled one out. Thomas Jefferson's defense has really been vastly improved this year. They gave up 12 points in one of the games, and everybody thought everything had stopped over in Thomas Jefferson. They're playing in Cherryville. Somehow Coach Pruitt seems to get his guys motivated to play top-notch teams, and to me, this is Thomas Jefferson. I think they should be the father of the lead in the conference. Right. I mean, they have done it. Coach Cash is doing it year in and year out over there, and the games that they've had this year, especially the one that really got me, the 46-0 win over Winston-Salem Carver, vastly impressed me. But for tonight, Cherryville's got to get on the board first. If they can put Thomas Jefferson behind at the start of the game, and I'm worried about Blanton. Is Blanton back tonight, to help them? But I'm going to go Thomas Jefferson tonight, and I'm going to go 42-21, Thomas Jefferson.
So, I agree with you. Thomas Jefferson has been especially defense. They've always been good on offense the past few years, but defense this year has been solid. And they're led by we all remember Nomi McMullins, their quarterback last year. This is his younger brother, Isaiah McMullins. Isaiah's running the helmet offense, but he's also one of the leading tacklers on defense. So, Thomas Jefferson's coming to this game that, they're undefeated in the conference. But Cherryville's also undefeated in conferences. They've had struggled here early in the season, but they're 2-0 in this conference. And so, it's not maybe a dismal season, but it's really not. I mean, you're in the catbird seat. You're in the driver's seat right now.
Yes.
And so, but I agree. Thomas Jefferson's going to come in. Cherryville, I think I agree. Yeah, if they can score first, they can make Thomas Jefferson do something different than they're accustomed to doing. Then possibly have a chance. But I think Thomas Jefferson's going to be too quick. I think they're just going to be too strong, too fast. I think they're just going to they're going to go into Cherryville tonight, and Cherryville's going to face a really good football team.
Yes.
And it's going to be a hard task for them to overcome. But I agree. I think Thomas Jefferson, I'm going to say it's going to be like a 42-14 game over Cherryville Ironman. The next game we're going to go to will be the a big game up here in Lawndale, and you can watch this on the Burns Bulldog YouTube channel. Tom Cinefani and Matthew Royster will be calling that game for us. But it'll be South Point Red Raiders coming into town and taking on the Burns Bulldogs. Terry, you want to?
Yeah, this is a game here. I mean, who would have thought we'd be talking right now? South Point 2-3 against a Burns team, upcoming Burns team at 3-1. And you're in the 2A level now. You're playing teams, and don't get me wrong, South Point was able to play in 3A, 2A, but they're falling on a little bit, and I think it all goes back to the quarterback position. I think that hurt South Point from the start. And you've got more on this than I do. I'm going to go ahead and throw out a score here, and I think Burns is going to win at home, and I think South Point's going to fall to 2-4 on the year. I still think they are probably the third best team in this conference.
Yeah.
And that would be behind Burns or Shelby or South or Shelby and Burns. Either way there,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be one big game there. But I'm going to say Burns 42, South Point 24.
Yeah. Coach Devine at Burns, he's real high on this team. He's real confident. You were talking about their defense a while ago when we was talking about the Newton Conover game.
Yes.
He has said this is his strongest, front line. He's got a very strong team this year. In the weight room. These guys are big, they're physical. He is very proud of what they've done so far. They've moved Keywan Pryor from the slot. They moved him back to the running back position a couple weeks ago. And it started with the Crest game, and that has made a difference in that offense. And so last year he was the main cog in the wheel. This year he has Cameron Sweezy, KJ Hopper I think's his name, to help more to make that offense run a little bit better. And I think at the beginning of the season, it was Shelby and South Point. Which one of those two is going to finish first? Because the other one's going to finish second. But now Burns is saying, wait a minute. We have a stake at this. We have a rifle. We've got a chance to do something great here. The winner of this game, I think, is going to be. This game here, this could be a playoff game. This could be a chance to get a home playoff game if you win this game. So I agree with you, Terry. I think Burns will win tonight at home. I'm going to say it's going to be a 35-21 game. I think South Point, they moved Rose he's now at quarterback.
Yep.
They moved him back there, and that seems to but he don't have anybody to throw it to because he's the best receiver they got. So.
It's kind of struggling because I sat here and I saw what Burns did to Newton Conover, and I'm like, this is 2A level. And Burns can play in this 2A level.
Absolutely they can.
I mean,
Absolutely.
against anybody.
Yeah.
And I sit back and I'm like, what's going to be a top notch is you think about this league, and let's say either one, Shelby or Burns wins it, South Point comes in third. Who in the world is going to want to play South Point? Them coming to like a number one team,
right?
Out of another conference. Nobody's going to want to do that.
Yeah, I agree. So, again, you can watch that one on the Burns Bulldogs YouTube channel and listen to Tom and Matthew Royster. Tom Cinefani and Matthew Royster there. All right, next game will be a big game up in Lincoln County, up in Vale. Will be the North Lincoln Knights, number 12 team in the power poll, against taking on the West Lincoln Rebels. This game you can listen to on WLON 1050 AM, 107.5 FM, or also on KTC Broadcasting. Terry, tell us about them Rebels.
Well, this is a game. North Lincoln comes in 3-1. Their only loss was in overtime to Parkwood. West Lincoln comes in 4-0. And when I speak to the coaches put it out there just as easy. Probably it's the same way Basil done down there at North Lincoln. we really haven't played anybody. I mean, you know, they had a lot of mistakes in the first game, North Lincoln did, and then lost in overtime. But you come into this series, West Lincoln leads this series 8-6. And we talk about county rivals, and we talk about games that are close. And I always try to put these two teams together because their series are close. It started in 2005. And last year's game was one of the best, and people say, well, they didn't score many points. But every possession down the stretch meant something. And when I go back and I think of the games, too, the last two that they have had, last year 7-6. 2 years ago, they couldn't stop each other. It was 56-49, you know, a final. So, I mean, you do not know what you're going to get here. Is the defense is going to show up, and I think both of them have strong defenses. But I think for West Lincoln, and I think the whole big thing, and this is my opinion, is going to come down, just like some of the coaches say, that offensive line. You replace 4 of your 5 starters up there. Can they match up with North Lincoln's defense? I think that's where the big key is going to come in. I'm going to be a little biased. I'm going to take West Lincoln. I think they've been waiting on this game for a year. A lot of people said, well, North Lincoln's awful strong. You're going to beat them up front, and that might happen. But I've got West Lincoln 35, North Lincoln 28.
You know, I read something this week, and it's here in front of me now, that says West Lincoln at the preseason poll was picked to finish near the bottom of this conference.
Towards the bottom.
And so I hear you talking about the kids at West Lincoln and the team. You've actually said, you know, hey, they're really not taking a step back this year. They're equal or not better than what they've had in the past. So they're not skipping a beat. Maybe let's put it that way. So, but yeah, I think playing at home, West Lincoln's going to be strong. I think they are looking forward to this game. Been waiting a year on this game. And now if it was played at North Lincoln, it may be a little different story.
I agree.
But when you're playing home, is at Linhart Stadium up there. When you're playing there, I think West Lincoln is going to be physically strong up front. I think it's going to be a learning curve for that offensive lineman. But it's going to, once they realize and say, hey, we can block this crowd. We can block North Lincoln. You know, their defense is pretty good. But, hey, if we block them, you know, get a little confidence, you know, hey, the momentum can be huge in this game. And it'll be a big game, Lincoln County rivalry. I think West Lincoln pulls out. I'm going to say it's going to be a 28-24 type game. I think West Lincoln wins.
And again, as I state, this is a big game for them guys up front on that daggum offensive line. Make a statement.
Yeah.
I mean, people do not think that you're going to be able to withhold them. If you have some big runs right off the top, you're going to have everybody in the game, and West Lincoln, I think, it's going to be fun.
And that'll give them confidence. So, again, you can listen to that one on WLON 1050 AM, 107.5 FM, or on ktcbroadcasting.com. Next game will be the number 13 team in the Power Pole, Crest Chargers, traveling down to Gastonia, taking on the number 18 team, Forest View. You can listen on WOHS 1390 AM, 101.5 FM, or on the Crest YouTube channel. Terry.
Well, this is a game you watched last week, and I saw Dennis and them come in holding their tails for a while on account of Freedom was up by 10, closing seconds of the game, and then they come back and they pull out a 51-48 victory. And, you know, hey, this is Cleveland County. This is Crest. This is the Chargers, you know, and everybody thought, man, now we're going to lose to somebody outside. But Crest has lost to interconference county foes. You know, they come in here 3-2. Forest View 2-2, and I love the impressive thing they did to South Point. They just manly took them out of the game and controlled the game the whole time. But this is a team that's rebounded. I thought they was going to be a team that maybe could not score, but here lately they have. Tonight you're going to be another one. And I want to sit back and say I think this is going to be another one of those Crest Forest View games like the Crest Freedom game. I don't know whether either one of them going to be able to stop each other, but I think Crest's defense might be just a little bit stout and be able to step up in this one. And I'm going to go Crest 42, Forest View 28.
Yeah, last week, as I mentioned before at this game, it was back and forth. No team could stop the other team, and it was basically who had the ball last. You won. You know, Crest, you know, scored there at the final, I think 57 seconds to go in the game. What I do think happened last week is Crest saw things that they could do offensively that they have not maybe tried before in the recent weeks against Burns and then against Shelby. They started spreading the ball out. They started throwing it. Fuller at quarterback, they have a kid named T.J. Ruff, one of the most dynamic players in Cleveland County, and that's saying a lot. And I'll put him up there with Keywan Pryor. This kid is a playmaker. When he steps on the field, when the ball's in his hands, he is dynamite. But you got to get it in his hands.
Yes, you do.
You got to get it in his hands. So, but Forest View, what they give us South Point, I think South Point they didn't have that quarterback, and I think you got to have Rose there now at their quarterback. If he would have played against Forest View, would have been a different story. Maybe, I don't know.
The margin might not have been as wide as what it was.
That's exactly right. So, but I think, again, I agree with. I think Crest is going to be stronger just stronger defensively, and I think they learned something last week. And I think they'll bounce back tonight. And I think I got Crest. I got it 35-21 over Forest View. So, moving on, last 5 minutes here, we're going to go to the Shelby Golden Lions, the number 4 team in the Power Poll, traveling down to Mount Holly. Taking on the East Gaston Warriors. You can watch this and on the Shelby Golden Lions YouTube channel. Jeff Jones, Brent Pasco will be making the call there. Terry.
Yeah, this is one. Shelby 3-1 against the East Gaston team 0-4, and I feel sorry for East Gaston. This is the game Shelby's going to take out what happened to them last week. Shelby's going to be able to score and score at will. I don't think East Gaston can match up with them, and I feel sorry for East Gaston that you was next in line after Shelby got beat by Kings Mountain. But I'm just going to be simple. This should be over early, and I'm going to go Shelby 63, East Gaston 7.
Yeah, Terry, when you were a kid, did you ever get in trouble?
Every now and then.
Every now and then. Did you get your tail whooped?
Quite a lot. I'll put it like that.
Did you learn something?
I better learn something or it would happen again.
I think that's exactly what happened with Shelby last week. They basically got beat physically everywhere on that field, and I think they learned something. And I agree with you. I think this game will be over early. I think Shelby's going to make a statement tonight saying, yeah, we are as good as everybody says we are. But even though people say that, I think the kids have to believe it.
Yes.
And I think this will be a game. I think it's 56-0. I think they're going to make a statement and bounce back from a loss last week against the next team we're going to talk about in our last game that we're going to speak of tonight. It will be the number 1 team in the Power Poll, the Kings Mountain Mountaineers. And they will be traveling to, where's Stuart? Cramerton. Is it Cramerton?
Yeah.
Cramerton, okay. Taking on Stuart Cramer Storm on the turf field down there at Cramerton, the number 20 team. You can watch this on the WOHS YouTube channel, and I'm sure Foster's. Yeah, Tim and Andy and Robert Root. Yeah, they'll be making the call there. So Terry, tell us about this game.
Well, this game, Kings Mountain 5-0 against Stuart Cramer 2-3. I saw Stuart Cramer struggle in games, and some games I thought they'd win, they lost. And don't get me wrong, Kings Mountain depends on the team that shows up. I think right now Coach Lloyd's having a hard time, and I should not say that because he had a lot of kids motivated to play last week. I mean, you go back to the Monroe game when they fell behind, and then they come back and just absolutely stop Monroe for everything they did. But they were down 21-0. But they found a way to come back, and they won that game easily, going away, scoring 35-0, to beat them. But last week it was a game they dominated from the start. They got up. They never fell behind. Shelby could never come back and retaliate against them to get back in the game, and Kings Mountain ends up running away. This one should be the same way. Kings Mountain should go down there, dominate the first 2 quarters, put this way, and get some of the second string and third string into the game. Stuart Cramer cannot score with Kings Mountain. I think that's what it's all going to come down to. I got Kings Mountain 48, Stuart Cramer 14.
Yeah, I think with Kings Mountain, last week what they did to Shelby was, it was one of those games we did everything right and everything was clicking and the kids were fired up and they just built off that.
Yes.
We talk about Pace Sauer being a dominant receiver, and he is, but they got a kid named Quentin Davidson on the other side who's, hey, that's his yin to his yang. I mean, he matches up with Pace Sauer very well, or, a good combination. Kings Mountain's got Kalen Mack back this week. He will come back this week and play tonight. So that's just another
stud,
another weapon. Yeah, another weapon for Coach Lloyd and the Mountaineers. I think they're just going to be too physically strong, and they're going to. This is where they start dominating this conference, and they're going to put a statement on tonight. Kings Mountain 49, Stuart Cramer 7.
I want to touch one more thing before we head away, before we get to your high school football games of the week. In the national poll, the number 1 team is Caledonia, Minnesota. Their record now of 58 straight wins. Martinsville, West Virginia, second with 46. And Albert, Oklahoma, now comes in at number 3 with 39. Tarboro, number 7 in the poll right now at 35. And North Carolina, Tarboro again leads the way. Shelby was second, but now Shelby's out of it. Reedsville's number 2 at 21. East Forsyth with 20, and Weddington comes in at number 4 with 14 victories.
So Reedsville's always going to find a way to sneak in somewhere.
Yes.
They're going to be at the top of every poll for whatever reason. Hey, listen, we're done for tonight, and we hope you enjoy all the games. For Terry Reinhardt, I'm Shannon Allen. Hunter Yancey traveling up to Vail to help tonight with West Lincoln, North Lincoln. And no, is he West Lincoln, North Lincoln tonight? Is he up there?
Yes.
Yeah, West Lincoln, North
yes,
Lincoln.
He is.
So hey, listen, if you want to go to a game, be careful. If you sit at home and listen to it, have a good time. God bless you. Have a good week, and we'll see you next weekend.
That's right.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Fall time is planting time, and planting time means a trip to Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. Let Howard, Kyle, and Joe help you get your fall garden and lawn into tip-top shape. Get your fall mums now, plus all kinds of fall decorations. Now's the time to get your fall grass planted too. You'll find straw, mulch, and more. And Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain has your Husqvarna blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws. That's Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue, downtown Kings Mountain. Gamble's Auto Service at 104 South DeKalb Street at Uptown Shelby is your one-stop service center for repair